behind you, the pizza and the water. And we will also announce the winners if you're still standing by to try to figure out if you got a medal or not. That's coming up after our guest of honor. I'm going to pass it off to you in order to introduce him to anyone who already does not know who this fine gentleman is.
Thank you, Megan. All right, so I'm going to hand it over to this speech that we look forward to. Chris Hallam, thank you again to Chris and his family, Hallam Strong, representing at today's Pittsburgh Melanoma 5K. Thank you. Thanks, Chris.
All right, so I have to be consistently reminded that even though I've presented the last 3 years, there's many new attendees in the crowd who may not be aware of my story. Back in 2003, I was 24. I had a family member, a barber, a co-worker, point out a dark mole on the left side of my head, which I thought would cost money to have it removed. So when I had saved up enough money to have the mole removed, I didn't understand insurance. I went to the dermatologist and she said she would call me after she received biopsy results. Biopsy results, I said. The rest of the timeline gets fuzzy, and I got a call from her sometime later. And I pulled off into a gas station and she says, "I need you to come to my office right away." I kept saying, "Why? I don't understand. Why do I need to come to your office?" She finally broke down and she said, "You have stage 4 melanoma." All words that were foreign to me. I didn't even know melanoma meant cancer. I called my mother from the gas station and explained what I learned, thus freaking her out. I worked and lived at Ohio State University. 2 days later, I met alone with my soon-to-be Ohio State surgeon, who was 2 blocks from where I lived. He said, blah, 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 4-inch diameter chunk down to your skull, skin graft, 8 lymph nodes taken out of your body, scheduled within the next 2 weeks. And I went straight to a work meeting that I was late for with 20 people. And I walked into a team bonding activity where we had to list our highs and lows for the week. We went around the room. When it got to my turn to share my lows, I just broke down and cried. I blurted out that I have cancer and I just got back from the hospital and I have to have surgery next week and I'm all alone, and even the guy who hated me hugged me and asked me what he could do. Here I am, 24, my first year full-time employed, and I didn't understand crap. And I'm about to embark on a life-changing surgery, relying on strangers, many of whom have donated to this event every year. From then on, I never missed a dermatologist appointment. I wish today I knew whether insurance would have covered follow-up scans, because 12 years later, I was at work and I couldn't process what my boss or employees were trying to say, to the point when my supervisees needed to drive me to my home. I then had a major seizure in her car and she had to pull over onto the highway and call an ambulance. Turns out again I had melanoma, but this time in the brain too. It was too numerous to count. Over the years, it's been treated by various drugs that have kept me alive, but have torn my body apart. As of today, all treatment options have been exhausted, and there's nothing more they can do for me. But wait. The best college course I took at Allegheny College was one on public speaking and speech writing. Right now, I'd be failing. Rule number 1 is to speak to and about your audience. I tried to be very attentive to that over the last 3 years. I want to honor those of you who have loved and who have lost. Those of you who are fighting for life. That is why I'm going to ask for your forgiveness. And if I can ask and I can continue to break rule number 2 of public speaking. Don't talk about yourself. However, this year, I'd like to share life lessons and awareness that has come to fruition of living with melanoma these last 3 years, that I hope you will find it universal. And I want to share that there is still humor, beauty, kindness, practicality, and happiness in this world that we can't lose sight of. I want to do this while I still have the life and the chance to share. So if you will indulge me, I'd like to share the most salient thoughts that I'm taking inspiration from based on my current situation. And hopefully you do as well. Okay. First, I'm living on a rule of no timelines. When I was first diagnosed, I was given a year to live. And as a result, I was treated all these experiences from friends because they felt they had a year to treat me. That to this day, I felt like I lied to people. But I know it wasn't my fault. My friends and family tell me this over and over again, but I still feel guilty. So today, no scans, no doctors giving me estimates of when it is my time to go. I'm at peace. So without timelines, I've contacted my friends, jokingly divulged all my secrets. I've never been one to hold grudges. With small ones I've had, I've reached out and I've buried them. Everyone gets a heartfelt goodbye. I say I love you. I mean it. There's no room for negativity, no drama, no unmet deadlines, no words unspoken. I see something, I say something, I speak no lies because I live with no timelines. I challenge you to live as openly as this. You may think easy for you to say you don't have to live with any consequences because you have cancer. Is this not how we wished others live life around us? Is this not secretly how we want people to be around us? Open, polite, loving, adventurous, honest, positive, who treat you as the most important thing in the room because it is the last time they could see you? What I have learned after basically being confined to my couch is that life is for the living. I used to be like Emmett from the Lego movie. I walked around all morning basically singing, "Everything is awesome." I woke up 5 minutes before my alarm went off. I got my coffee and was so excited to go to work. I would have good days and not so good days, but really everything was awesome. Basically every day after work, I went to the gym. I loved going to the gym. It made me feel good and ready to tackle the new day. But life is for the living. I then ate dinner thanks to meal prep. I then hung out with friends. Everything was awesome. I say all this because we take for granted the beauty of life. What I wouldn't give to go to the gym and get swole one more time and be able to go to work for one more bad day, and to be able to listen to music in my car, and to be able to drive again. Enjoy the good days. Enjoy the bad days. Enjoy running errands. Enjoy life because it's for the living. I have to keep telling myself this, and I ask that you do too, that life is for the living. That small things is life. Small things is life. Small things I have to enjoy right now. My 2 flavors of Gatorade, which I have 415 pounds of, thanks to my brother. I enjoy that I'm in Pittsburgh and my living includes eating Park Smiley Face cookies. And life is for the living. For all of you who complained about Avengers Endgame or this season of Game of Thrones, I loved every minute of it because I was alive to experience it. I evaluate my life by which Marvel movie I'm alive to see. So here's the Spider-Man Far From Home. So try to enjoy living life, every concert, every dinner, Every drive to work, every beer, every time with family, every vacation, every trip to the gym. Dying of cancer had made me see that everything is awesome, because life is made for the living to enjoy if only you choose to embrace it. They're sticking together. Alright. Alright, this is the hard section. One thing I've come to learn is don't be afraid to reach out to those who are sick or dying or grieving. However, just be prepared to listen. If you listen with only a few positive affirmation statements, you can't go wrong. Look, I'm the worst at this. Always have been my entire life. Throughout the last few years, the most random people have been the most consistent ones to check in and see how I'm doing. And it means the world to me. My best friends in the world have been the ones that have given me radio silence. And I fall into this latter category. If they would listen, I don't want to talk about how I'm doing. There's nothing they can say that's wrong. I just want to hear how the old job is doing. I just want to hear how a party went that inevitably I would have been to. And maybe if I was grieving, convince me slowly that I'm strong enough to make it to the next party. I had a friend whose father was going through dementia, and I hid. And now that I'm going through cancer, he won't leave me alone. I couldn't love him more for it. He knew it was a struggle that we all face, and that there was nothing to forgive for me. He's being a role model in tenfold, and I can't reciprocate it. I can't give him back to call him while his father was going through dementia and learn from his lesson. But I sure hope someone in this room will, or this yard will. One thing I have come to learn is don't be afraid to reach out to those who are sick and dying and grieving. Oh, that's why I numbered these cards. Okay. Where's 11? There's 12. Yeah, my hand won't work. 11. There's 11. Okay.
But you got 15, 16 next.
12.
Behind for it. Yeah, now you're good.
One thing that comes with living with cancer is awareness. Awareness of others' plights, flights, fights, and how much of misinformation is out there about cancer, particularly melanoma. I know that many are here because they've lost someone in recent months or years to melanoma. And for that, my heart sincerely goes out to you. The knowledge that I am standing here brings with it a huge amount of survivor's guilt. You may say I didn't do anything. It's not my fault. But when you have a heightened sense of awareness, it is inevitable not to notice and to begin to feel something. I had a work colleague. She was diagnosed with cancer after I was diagnosed. She then received treatment, went into remission. She was able to retire young. Only months later after retiring, she passed away in December. A bit ago, I lost a friend and a work colleague to an autoimmune disease, and she was far younger than I. Again, diagnosed after me, died before me. We would talk about our illnesses and try to keep each other strong. A note here. Both were black women and strongly influential in my life. Awareness time they had brought to my attention after my diagnosis. I had forgotten till recently. Both told me to pass along the same message. Black people can get melanoma too. And yes, black people are to look for changes and developments in moles as it relates to melanoma. Not just, but, and particularly in their palms of their hands and feet. But there's a myth that black people, due to melanin, cannot get melanoma. I share this because cancer and melanoma does not distinguish between race. We are not a homogenous society, and because my friends told me so. So please do your research and see a doctor whenever anything else changes with your body. I don't want to see someone else die before me. When you are diagnosed and survive for however long another person's passing lands with a deeper thought than you can imagine, resulting in survivor's guilt or hyper-awareness of the world around us. Last week, my best friend called me up, told me he had testicular cancer. I thought, not another one. He has this. He does. But let's keep doing what we can do to keep knocking melanoma to the proverbial curb. So there has to be... So no one here has to wake up and go, oh no, not another diagnosis, or feel survivor's guilt. I share these stories for two reasons. Let us do what we can to not allow more families to feel the loss of cancer or any loss of life. Let us say for those who have lost anyone that we are here for you. Please know it is not just words. Second, we take a survivor's photo each year. I wanted to take this opportunity to say, I hear you. I know it is difficult. You are not alone. I see you. I am here with you. And I recognize you. In conclusion, those of us with cancer still dream. Dream for ourselves and dreams for others. And cancer cannot kill the ability to dream. Looking back, I have achieved all of my dreams. A quality education, strong friendships, the ability to make a difference in people's lives through mentorship. There's one dream I never got to achieve, and that was to find a loving partner who would love me in return. I've come to peace with that. It is beyond my control. What is not beyond anyone's ability here in this crowd is to have hopes and dreams for others. When I am gone, those dreams will live on. Just like those who are living with cancer or are passed on from cancer, their dreams for others exist today. Mine is that my family grieve in their own way, but live in happiness. That they can laugh without guilt, smile without shame, enjoy the monotony of a day, and that all of you can discover the deep-seated dreams that your loved ones have for you. Maybe that is simple as defining happiness and joy in your life, or achieving an education, This is all defined by your family and their goals. At this point, cancer still kills. Please don't let it kill your own personal dreams and dreams you have for each other. Let those dreams live. Talk about it. Share. Do what you can to make those dreams happen. Thank you.